Hey you guys, it's Michelle from Stitch and Hustle. I'm so excited about this YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. Before we get to today's episode, I want to just let you know that there was a little bit of a hiccup in the media. So what happened is I'm totally new and have so much to learn. That's all that happened. And so one of the things I have to learn because of my own crew, my own editor, my own everything, is how to better care for my media cards. The media card with the ending of the interview with Lewis took a total dump and I didn't know how to recover it. So it's gonna seem like it ends weird. The good news is the entire interview is there. The bad news is the last 70 to 85 seconds is missing. So it's gonna seem weird until the last, it's gonna seem normal, oh my gosh, until the last 75 to 85 seconds. I hope you love it and are so inspired by Lewis as I am. Here we go. Hey you guys, it's Michelle from Stitch and Hustle. I am beyond excited for today's episode. Okay, so first of all, this is not my normal set because I am hanging out in New York City at my friend Felicia's shop, String Thing Studio. So give that some love when you're in New York. And my special guest, I am hanging out today with Lewis Boria, Brooklyn Boy Knits, who you may have heard of. Hey, Lewis.
Hi, how are you? Hi, everyone.
I'm so good. Now, you guys don't realize, like, Lewis and I talk, so we have a little bit of familiarity, but for those of you who don't know, your 60-second doc kind of blew up recently and put Brooklyn Boy Knits all over the world.
Yes, so as you know, back in November, a picture went viral of me knitting on the subway by Frenchie Davis, who had posted this picture of me knitting.
Did you know?
I had no idea.
Okay. Because I've always wanted to, I know in all of our accounts, I've never asked you that. I've always wanted to ask you if you knew about the photo before.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, when I get on the train and I start knitting, it's just, I get so warped into my knitting and my project. So I had no idea she was sitting in front of me this particular evening when I came out of the gym. I'm like knitting, and so when I knit, like I said, I don't even like pay attention to.
Yeah, I'm just working.
Right.
Yeah.
So, the next day I get a text message from my friend who's like, "Oh my God, you're like all over Facebook." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, sends me a screenshot of my photo. I'm like, and so the first thing I'm thinking about is like, who is taking my picture? This is weird.
I would be so tripped out.
He's like, idiot, look at who took the picture. When I realized it was French Davis, I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy.
Oh my God, you didn't even realize the credit.
I had no idea. So, long story short, it snowballed from there. We got in contact, Frenchie and I, and told a little bit about what I do. And I've been knitting for 10 years. And at no point did I ever think it would ever escalate to this. And I'm just like, wow, what's happening?
This is amazing.
Yeah, so, she reached out again a second time to all her followers, and she's like, go follow him. He has a business called Brooklyn Boy Knits. And I'm like, wow. And from there, it just blew up. And then my first contact was with the Daily News, and they reached out to me, and they were like, we want to interview you. And it just, from there, just exploded. Yeah.
It's literally been snowballing, and the right way of snowballing. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
And was that part of the 60-second doc, or is that how did because I know your video, you're over 2 million views now, right?
We're at 31 million views right now.
Shut up.
Yeah.
It was 2 million the last time I checked.
It's 31 million.
31 million views, people. Okay, no offense, but it was 2 million the last time I checked.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Okay. It's like, it's just.
I may not be good enough to be in your presence anymore. Holy crap.
Stop.
31.
Yeah.
So how did that came, because I know that came from the picture.
Right. So with all the media, that was being released on me, this company out in LA reached out to me, and they were like, hey, we want to do a short documentary on you. I'm like, sure, let's do it. And at that point, I had no idea where this was going to go. And they target social media. So we filmed that day, and it was so fun because the film person, the film guy that did the shoot, he wanted to get some really cool shots on the train. I said, why don't we go to Coney Island? That hasn't been done yet. So we spent like half the day in Coney Island. It was freezing, but we had a great time.
It's worth it.
Yeah, so then all of a sudden, like 3 weeks later, I get the email from the company saying, hey, we released the video. So I jump on, and it's already at 1 million views. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is insane. I'm like, what's going on here? And then every day it just kept 2 more million. It was like 2 million every day.
When I saw it was at 2 million, so 31 is like...
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And it just, I started getting emails from around the world. Like, literally, like, everybody was just emailing me and just...
What were some of the emails? Like, what are the kind of things people say?
A lot of love and encouragement.
Awesome.
A lot of support. I have a direct message in that video, and it's about following your passion, following your dreams, regardless of who's around you, what people are going to say. At the end of the day, you're not always going to have a fan. There's always going to be people that hate on you or whatever for whatever reason.
But at the end of the day, you have to look in the mirror and you have to lay your head down.
Exactly. So that's my message is really simple. It's just, you know what? If you have a passion for something, then you just go for it, and that's it. And let the doors,
the right message.
Let the doors open. Let the doors open naturally. That's what I'd like to tell people. But it's been an awesome experience. I mean, this 60-second doc really put me on the map.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for that. So thank you.
Thank you for watching. Yes. That's amazing. And you talked about your grandma in your doc.
So let's talk about my grandma.
Yeah.
So
because we both have like grandma love, so that's kind of our bond. But
So my grandmother she used to crochet.
Yeah.
And she passed away about less than 2 years ago. And when I would say 14, she tried teaching me how to crochet, and I didn't like it at the time. I was young. I didn't go out in the streets and play. She said, "Come on, I'm gonna teach you how to crochet." And I was like, my tension was too tight, and I was like, I don't like this. I was struggling, but then she laid down the foundation. She planted that seed. And that's what I love to tell people is that I was always surrounded by what she made, and I always had an Afghan. I always had hats. I always had scarves. So there was never a shortage of that growing up.
Yeah.
And I always appreciated that. And even as I got older, she was still making me Afghan. I still have every single thing that she's ever made.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I just, even as a kid, I appreciated that, and the work that she put into it, because she's queen size Afghans. Like, who does that anymore? It's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah, and they drape over my bed, so it's like I know that she.
And you know that every stitch had so much love in it.
Of course.
Like you know that.
And it's so funny because she would douse the Afghan with her perfume.
Oh my God! Did she really?
Yeah, and I still smell it to this day. I'm like, oh my God. So she passed away, but like I said, under 2 years ago, and when in her dying bed, she told me, she's like, I'm not going to be around much longer to make things for people. Now it's your turn. She's like, even though you don't crochet, she gave me that look.
Oh, you're a knitter.
Yeah, so because I'm a knitter, so she was like, but even it's okay. She's like, we'll forget about that part. But she told me, and I remember, she's like, now it's your turn. Because even the last, her last year, it was like her hands, she couldn't crochet anymore.
Right, the arthritis and cramping and pain. It does get tough.
So I made her a blanket while she was in the hospital. And I made her a blanket. And you know what she told me? And I get choked up when I talk about it.
I'm just hearing about it.
Yeah, she says, this is the first time somebody's ever made me something. So all these years, she crocheted for 50 years, and no one's ever made her.
And you were the first one to.
And when she told me that, I started crying. I was like, wow. Yeah. I'm like, really, Grandma? She's like, yeah. She's like, no one's ever made me anything, and she just loved it. She just loved it. And when she passed away, I took the blanket back home.
As you should.
Yeah, and I just had it in the corner.
As you should.
Yeah. So it was that spoke so much to me, and that was like amazing. Like,
that is amazing, and to have that with all of the things that she made for you, it's kind of it's part of your story. It's another chapter in the story of you and your grandma.
Yeah, and I've done.
And you do stuff for your nieces and nephews. You are continuing the tradition.
Oh my gosh, I have a 21-year-old niece. She has my biggest collection. She's like, okay, I need this, and she'll send me a picture of what it is that she wants. She's, can you make this? I'm like, I got you. Don't worry, I got you.
I got you.
Yeah, so she's a.
I was gonna say, because I see you post all the time. Like, I know you've got all the family.
I got my 21-year-old niece down to my 2-year-old nephew. So it's like I got I got them all. And then I have
Look at this little baby sweater, you guys. Speaking, I mean, like, that's what baby sweater. And it's made so well.
Thank you.
Like, you take it's not just, you know, I won't lie. Sometimes for kids, I'll not care so much if I drop a stitch because I know that they're not going to wear it forever. But I've seen your kid stuff is made impeccably.
Thank you.
This is amazing.
Yeah,
so you are keeping that family tradition.
Yeah, I am. And, you know, it's so funny because now I've taught my nephews how to. Yes. So I got both my nephews. One is 14, one is 13, and they're knitting. I mean, and these kids, these boys, they play all kinds of sports. And now with everything that's been happening with me, it's like it's encouraged them even more, and it's inspired them even more. They look at me like, oh my God. They're like, so they call me Theo, which is Spanish, which is
I have Portuguese,
Spanish.
Tia Theo. My husband's Portuguese, so Tia Theo.
Yeah, so they're like, Theo, oh my God. You're famous. I'm like, shut up, no, I'm not. Like, it's so weird to hear that.
It's to them.
They're like, oh my gosh, you're all over the news. And I start laughing, and I'm like, so now it's giving them an incentive to be like, you know what? If he did this, then. And
even if it's not knitting, like, even if it's something else, it's giving them that reinforcement of when you find your passion, don't be fearful.
Exactly.
Be courageous and go with gusto.
You know, Michelle, one of the things that I always talk about is, we live in a time where, men and women are just crossing paths as far as what they do in life.
Yeah.
As far as, let it be sports, let it be, a career. You have men that are knitters and men that crochet and men that are makeup artists and hairstylists and fashion designers, right?
Those definitions are fading so much. So you can do whatever you love.
And just like women are now becoming construction workers and electricians, and they're teaching basketball, and when I see that happening, it boosts me up, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. I love to hear stories like that. I love to see that in the news, and I think it's so important because, we, living in New York, we, even depending in the neighborhoods you live in, like sometimes you're fearful of like, okay, if I live in a bad neighborhood in Brooklyn.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Well, let me go back to that because it is cultural.
Yes,
and I grew up,
really is.
It is a lot cultural, and so even though your grandma abuela, encouraged you to go fiber, there is a stigma, Latino men.
Yes.
And it's, you're supposed to be the macho.
Exactly.
You're supposed to be that guy.
Guys don't knit. You're supposed to be playing sports, and you need to be out there, and,
Did you feel any of that cultural, especially in your, being from a Latino family? Because that's different. It's one thing if you're a guy. It's another thing if you're a Latino guy.
Right. So I was fortunate because I wasn't raised that way. That's awesome. Yeah, my stepfather raised me, since I was young, and he did try putting me in sports. I didn't like it. It wasn't for me, and he tried, and he just said, "Okay, it's not for you, then fine." And then as I got older, I started getting into acting, and I started doing stuff with the school, and and then arts and crafts. My mother, she draws, and she's an amazing illustrator, and so I was always around someone crafting or something.
There was always creativity around you. Always.
So, and I always gravitated to that, and so it was always encouraged at home.
Yeah.
So whenever we had projects,
that's the roots.
That's where it comes right in. Come on, let's figure this out together. Yeah. And I loved it, and I loved having that time with my mom. We're doing something together, and we're building art. We're doing something.
You're creating, and that's you're constantly feeding that energy back into each other, which is what creative people do. That's why I always say when people are worried about, I don't want to collaborate, I want to hold on to my idea. I'm like, no, collaborate, create.
It's so important.
That energy fuses and it adds energy. And growing up in that environment must have been just so inspiring.
It was fun. Oh my gosh, yeah. So we did all kinds of stuff, and then I have aunts that were also crafty, and and I think about it, and I'm like, wow, I was, now that as an adult, I look back, I'm like, I was always surrounded by creativity, and it was, I was blessed for that, So that's why, being a guy, my upbringing was a little bit different. However, I did see it within my own family.
You did?
Yes. So like uncles, and it was always like, no, you're not supposed to do that to their sons, to my cousins. And it was just like, you're supposed to play baseball and you're supposed to do this. And I saw that. So I was, even though I wasn't.
You saw that your home was
I
different,
could see it,
and you knew that but you also were then able to see that what you've got going on at home is special. It's different.
It was, and I just zipped it up and I just watched, and I realized that there was a problem, even within my own family, and I just, I realized that it was an issue. And growing up, and as I got older, I started seeing more and more of it in school, and kids, especially like the artists, artists, even in high school, like, you dress differently. Back when I was in high school, it was all about grunge look, and people, and they were, and not for nothing, but all the grunge kids were all the artistic ones.
Yeah,
they would make so like they got picked on in school.
Where do you think all the amazing graphic design generation started?
And look at them now.
We built this crazy tech world you all live in.
So I always say to you guys, like, if you're an artist out there, like, don't be afraid. Do not be afraid to show that ability. Whether you look different, whether you got tattoos on your face, on your neck, or you got piercing, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what matters is the talent that you have, right? And what you're producing and what you're giving back to the world. That's what matters to you most. And that's actually what should matter to
I was going to say that's a really good segue because, and that's incredibly important, but you are already putting that money where your mouth is, so to speak. You are giving back.
Yes.
So this is insane, the amount of success that's happening. I mean, I'm literally like looking at the table and there's the new knitwear, and we're flipping through it when you walked in, and it's like the amount, and like, oh look, there's Lewis. So it's like literally you're everywhere, and you are taking that and giving it right back. And I love what you're doing. Can you talk about what you just started?
Super
I look how you just lit up.
So like, all right, so
I love this.
I love working with children. Like I have so many nieces and nephews, and I'm always with them, and I'm always encouraging them to get into sports, do something, right? So when it comes to kids, I'm all for it, So I had a young boy by the name of Kai, who started following me through social media, and I noticed he started liking a lot of my posts and stuff like that. I'm like, this kid keeps popping up. So I'm looking at him, and I'm going into his Instagram, and I'm like, wow, he's a knitter. Like, this is cool. He's a gamer, he's a knitter, and he's homeschooled, right? So this kid, he's got a lot going for him already at 14 years old. So I started reaching out to Kai, and we finally met up, and I just started talking to him, and his mother, Marlene, she's awesome. Like I tell everybody, that's like my new adopted family. Like, yeah, so like they've been great. So after talking to Kai, and I told Kai, I said, Kai, how do you feel about maybe teaching other kids how to knit? And he's like, oh my God, I love that idea. Let's do it. I'm like, I'm gonna work on it. So one day I put a post out onto Facebook and Instagram, and and I had filled out an application for the Brooklyn Public Library to try to rent the space so that I can teach to the public. And it's a waiting list.
Yeah.
So, and the demand of, I was getting messages throughout social media, hey, do you teach? And I wish I could bring 20 people to my home and teach them how to knit, but I can't.
Right.
So I was looking, right. So.
Knit night at Lewis's. Everybody come over.
You got to be careful when you're right over, right?
So, especially when you're talking about kids. You can't do that. I mean, you can't.
Right.
I get it.
So I put this post out, and a principal reached out to me. At PS 145, her name is Dr. Natalia Russo, and she sent me a message. She's like, call me, I have something I want to tell you. So I'm like, all right, this sounds pretty interesting. She offered her school as a space for me. She's like, here's what I want to do. She's like, how about I offer my space to you, in return, you teach my kids how to knit. I was like, oh, yes. I'm like, of course I'll do this. And she's like, great, let's talk about it. So what she wants to do is start a fiber arts program within the New York City school system.
It blows my mind.
Yes.
That sentence is insane to me. Being a New York City public school kid, that sentence is crazy.
Right. So as you know, in Europe, it's part of the curriculum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So kids are being taught how to knit as early as maybe first grade out there.
Yeah.
So why can't we do that here in the U.S.? And that's where she's going with this. So she's like, it doesn't exist. There's no arts program. The arts program in the New York City school system
is gone.
It's failing.
What's left of it is gone.
Right.
So when we were kids, it was thriving.
Yeah, and
you had to compete to get a spot on things.
And now, and now this has to come out of the educators' own pockets to get these kids into the arts, right? So what she decided to do was use her school. It's called the Bloomingdale School, PS 145 in Manhattan, and she wants to use her school as the model to start this program. So, no, right, it gets even bigger, right? So, I have a connection with New York One. So, I got New York One involved, and I said, Dr. Russo, why don't we do this? Why don't we get the media involved? Let's get Josh Bennett involved. Let's get Lion Brand involved. So, now Lion Brand became the official sponsor to this program.
Go Lion Brand.
Yes.
Because putting fiber arts back into the kids and the community, thank you.
Yes.
It's so big.
They've been amazing.
Yeah. I work with them and I love working with them.
So Lion Brand donated all the yarn, donated all the needles for over 250 kids.
Wow. That's insane.
Yes. So they're amazing.
They are amazing.
I can't stop thanking them, and because I reached out to Shira from Lion Brand, and I said, Shira, how do you feel? She's like, let's do it. We're all over it. I'm like, awesome. And then, we started speaking to Josh Bennett. As you know, Josh Bennett, the infamous Josh Bennett, he's all for it.
Yeah.
So we have, Josh and I, next week, right before the kickoff, we're doing a special knit at night, specifically geared towards what we're doing.
The party to launch this. Yeah.
So we're calling this is a new program that's starting, and we're hoping.
It's so insane. I can barely sit still now.
So we have a name for it, and it's called Yarnimentary. So
okay, I will high five you on that.
I can't take credit for that, but the name was like
that is okay.
That was Lion Brand's. Lion Brand came up with that name, and we fell in love with it.
Go Lion Brand.
Yes. So we got T-shirts being made up for all the instructors. Right now we're putting together about 40 volunteer knitters to come in and teach 250 kids how to knit. So we're doing this big assembly. Fingers crossed that it all goes well. So this is the first time that I'm talking to children. So what's cool?
No, you have, because you've done 2 workshops now, and I saw it's adults and kids.
Yes.
So this is a bigger audience of kids. Right. But I've seen you talk. He's all right.
So
I'm the one they don't let in.
So we're really excited about that. That happens next week, Friday. So we start at 11:30, and we're gonna run this program all day long. So
I'm so excited.
Yeah. So I've been working with the principal, and she's awesome, and I'm so grateful to her and to her staff, because they're making things happen. And I'm like, well, how do you feel about this? She's like, let's do it, and she's just with everything that's going on, and she loves it, and she's like, I want everybody to see this, and the idea is that we get all the schools involved.
Yes.
Because it's important. It's important to get this out there, to get these kids working with their hands again.
And while all of this insanity is busting out, like magazines, 60-second docs with 31 million views, you're launching this program in public schools, making appearances, coming to hang out with me.
Yes.
You're also still running a business.
Yes.
Well, and building a business, which is what I really love, because you are still staying true to who you are.
Yes, absolutely. So, I got a lot on my plate these days.
Yeah.
And it's all a learning experience. I'm learning from it. At the end of the day, I still have a full-time job. I work at the hospital. So.
Okay, when you told me that, I almost fell over.
Yeah.
You still have a full-time job.
Full-time job, yes.
And doing...
And so I'm an administrator assistant at Mount Sinai Hospital.
Right. So it's like a busy, crazy job.
Yeah, it is.
Like Mount Sinai is like a major New York City hospital. Yes. This is not like the little medical center.
No,
this is like
we're a system.
Yeah.
We are now a system.
You are a system.
So it's a great job. I've been with the hospital for 10 years now, and I love what I do there. Is it my passion? No. This is my passion.
But it opened the door for you to follow your passion.
I work for, my bosses are amazing. They know what's going on with me. They know.
What do they say about everything that's happening now?
One of my bosses, she knits, so she gets it. She's like, go to your interview. I'll take a half day, take the day off. So they're really, really flexible with me these days, and I'm so appreciative of that. But I, like I said, I love my job, but now that this is developing, and now that this is starting to blossom, and Brooklyn Boy Knits is on the map.
On the map, baby.
And, yeah, I'm super excited about that. But yeah, I'm. It's a one-man show still, pretty much, and I do have knitters that are helping me out. I'm getting tons of orders, which is great.
It's amazing.
It's great. And one of the things that, as a knitter or a person who crochets or anybody in the fiber world, we all know that these pieces do take time. It's not something that we can just whip up in an hour. Like, okay, here you go. Here's your hat.
Yeah.
No, these take hours on hours depending on the piece that you're making.
Yeah.
So a lot of my customers don't get that concept. So, I tell them, please be patient. And I do clearly put it on my website, allowed 3 to 4 weeks, maybe even more sometimes, depending on where we're at.
That's really interesting because, I've always had a handmade business. And I have not had the commercial notoriety that you've recently, gotten. So that's a really interesting thing. So you're bringing new customers into the handmade world. There's a difference every stitch,
yes,
and a precise pattern and design and an ethos that you're following in a fiber. How is it educating your new audience, your new customers?
It's fun. I do have to say it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, and so once you have to tell them, they don't understand that, some pieces you can't put 2 different colors together. It's just not going to work. So I do this one. It's called the District 12 cowl that you can buy. It's the pattern you can get on Ravelry, and the women love this piece. So I have women telling me, well, can we mix a little purple in there? I'm like, it's not gonna work. You can't, because it's made in 2 pieces, and then I have to sew it together. So I try to explain to them, and I do try to educate them.
And are they open? Are they receptive? Are they?
They are. That's the beautiful.
Yeah,
that's the beautiful part about it.
Usually, when I educate them, they're like, they're receptive.
They are. So and I'm trying to also teach them about colorways, and purple won't. If you want this piece, I don't think it's going to look great if we add this color to it. So that's where, as a designer, as a knitwear designer, you have to come in and you have to let them know, look, that's not going to work. You already know.
Yeah.
So if one of the important things about what we do as knitters and crocheters is that we play with color a lot, and even sometimes you realize the color's not going to work. You're like, I don't know what I just did here. Maybe I should have used blue instead of green. So I'm teaching people about colorway and about what works and what doesn't work. So they completely trust me.
Yeah.
So I love that.
But that's amazing. And building that confidence is how you'll have customers for life.
Yeah.
Because then they've got that confidence, and then when you deliver on it, they know. They can come to you and say, okay, I need a piece for this person. Do what you do.
Exactly. So that's important.
Yeah.
You really do have to, you really do have to know, what you're telling your customer. It's so important. You just don't want to give them, whatever they want.
Whatever. No, you have to guide them.
At the end of the day, my piece is going out there. And if it looks botched and if the colors don't look great together, I'm sorry, I'm not sending it out.
But that's your integrity, and that's what they're trusting.
Right, exactly.
And I love that.
So I tell them, I'm like, look, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
This will work. So
let me ask you a question. Okay, so by the way, we're going to talk about some of your knits and your and talking about your customers, because so this is so rad. So
that's the Bushwick convertible, which
it's a cowl hat.
Yeah.
So I'm not a hat person, but for you, I'll do it.
Yes, awesome. See, and you wear it as a slouchy hat, and then if you untie the top part of it, you got it there. All right.
Yeah.
And loosen it up, open the top up, and pull it over your head. It converts into a cowl. Yeah.
And, okay, for real, what's this yarn?
So this is Color Clouds by Lion Brand.
Okay, really? Because my Color Clouds didn't feel like this. This feels good.
Yeah, it's really soft yarn. And
did you treat it?
No.
You washed it?
No, not at all.
Okay, Lion Brand, step up your game.
Yes, let me tell you, Lion Brand is producing really good work.
Okay.
As far as
this
yarn,
is lovely.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
Yep. It's great.
Thank you. This is a lovely gift.
It's a functional piece because so it's funny because when I was on the morning show with New York One, and I had made a similar piece, and the anchor, when he puts it on, he's like, he's like, this is great for New Yorkers because it's you know, it's transitional. You can, it goes from hat to neckwear,
and it's really cozy.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, so when I designed this piece, I was like, it's a simple piece, but it's
not simple to make because you added a design element to it. You gave it shape. You did things to it, so it's not just a simple piece.
Right.
And I love that because you're keeping your own design and your own look and your own integrity there.
Exactly. So now I offered the pattern on Etsy, so it's now available on Etsy.
Hey.
Yeah. So
guess who's making one?
So it's I wanted to give that back to the customers because they were like, oh my God, do you have a pattern for it? And I was like, you know what, I'm going to put up the pattern.
That's awesome.
That's what we do as knitters and crocheters.
We do. I sell my patterns a lot.
And it's $6 on Etsy, and I'm like, and so that's how Kai reached out to me, the young kid that I told you. But
I love that.
Yeah, so he made his own and sent me a picture, and I was like, I gotta reach out to this kid. So so
it started with this. Yeah, this is the one.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a hat cowl.
It was one of my.
But it's not called a hat cowl. What's it called for real?
It's called the Bushwick Convertible.
The Bushwick Convertible. Mm-hmm. The Bushwick Convertible.
So most of my pieces online are named after neighborhoods in Brooklyn. So I have to do that. I'm like,
which is, by the way, part of why I really wanted to do your interview at Felicia's String Thing shop because she opened a shop in Brooklyn.
So Felicia,
okay, so we're going to talk about where we are. So wait, let me just remind everybody that my friend Felicia opened a shop in Brooklyn called String Thing Studio. It's right near the Barclays Center. You can get there by the number 2 train. It's super easy. So when Louis and I decided we were going to do this interview, we were like, well, where are we going to do it? And I was like, I got a spot. I'm like, Felicia, can I borrow your store for a few minutes? Because I wanted to keep it Brooklyn for Brooklyn Boy Knits.
Yes, and I love this.
So so now you can be like, Felicia.
Yeah, so Felicia reached out to me maybe a month before you reached out to me, and she says, hey, how about we do, let's collaborate, let's do something here at my store. And I was like, wait a minute, you have a store, a yarn shop in Brooklyn? Why did I not know about this? Like, I'm all about shopping.
Because you got 31 million people in your business now.
One of the things that's so important for me, Michelle, is that, as an artist, it's so important to support other artists.
Thank you. That's what we're talking about, collaboration. I think it's so important.
And not only that, but also for local businesses.
Yes.
And what better way than to support a local business in Brooklyn?
In Brooklyn.
Right? So when Felicia reached out to me, I was like, absolutely, yes, count me in, sign me up, let's do this. Because, first of all, I had no idea that the store even existed until she reached out to me, and I'm here today, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Isn't it incredible?
I'm in love with all the yarn, and she has amazing yarn.
She really
does.
You have
to really come to
And you're soon going to be able to order online. Yes. I will say you that.
So come down to the shop. Visit. She's awesome.
We love her. This is not paid advertising. I just want you all to know we just literally have camped out here today, and Louis has already been shopping. You should see his basket. He's like, oh, look at that. Oh, I didn't know that was here. Oh, you carry this. Oh, wait, where did that come? I mean, it's been a good day here.
Really nice. But I just love that these supporting one another.
It's huge.
I'm all about that.
Yeah.
So
and that's goes back to your your ethos and following your passion of giving back, because you're making knitters. You're literally making, and it's not like you're worried about making the person who's going to compete with you. Right. You're not worried about making the person who's going to outdesign you. I hope I make that person.
Yes.
I pray that I'm involved in making that person, and I love that's your perspective as well.
And I even tell there's I've been getting a lot of gifts lately from other knitters and from suppliers, and
I didn't bring you anything.
No.
But my smile and love,
and that's all I want, right? So listen, so it's so funny because I get these gifts, right?
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh my God, and everything that I've received, one of the women, her name is Alexis Mantillon. She developed these knitting needles that I adore, right? They have they act as long needles, but it's just got a cord at the end of it, and then a stopper at the end. So and one of the issues that I always had making blankets was that all the stitches get bunched up, so you never know how big the blanket is until.
Oh my gosh! So it extends, so you can see it.
So you can
shut up.
I know.
Shut up.
Freaking out when I got these needles. I'm like, wait, how does this work? And then I went to her. So there's a YouTube video out there to explain it. When I saw the video, I was like, she answered my biggest prayer
gosh.
when it came to knitting. So like now you can see how big your blanket is.
And you found her because she found you.
She found me.
I love that.
And she's like, can I send you my needles? And I said, absolutely. I would love to accept your gift. And why not, right? But I fell in love with the needles so much that I said, no. Everyone needs to know about these needles. And that's what I did. I created this post. And now
does she have a site? Can I link to the bottom of this video? So I'm going to link for you guys who want to check out these needles.
Yes,
at the bottom of this, you can just go to.
Yeah, my two knitting ladies, I believe it's called.
Okay.
Amazing needles. I'm telling you, go get yourself a pair of sheets.
I'm going to get a pair.
Jumbo size.
That's
needles,
crazy.
Especially for those, like, I like to knit bulky.
I like a bulky knit. I'm the chunky girl. And it's not because of my figure. It's my knits.
So I always tell people, I'm like, I'm thankfully, and I'm so grateful for this. I've gotten a lot of followers. So when I started my Brooklyn Boy Knits business page on Facebook, before I had like
Frenchie found
600 followers,
and
right?
today,
and it took me 3 years to get to that. 600.
It's a slow build.
So that was back in November. We are now in April. I'm close to 9,000 followers.
Crazy.
Yeah. So it's
and they're active. It's not like people who just, click it just to say that they know what's going on. These are people I see, because I see your social media and you engage. And what I love is that with a full-time job, with the insanity that is going on in your world, blowing up, going viral, launching a public school program is not an easy undertaking for kids. Getting sponsors, Lion Brand, and doing all of this, you still respond and engage and interact. You don't just if someone contacts you, you're not like, oh, it's there. And I love that because that goes back to, it's just who you are.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I think that's your grandma.
It is. And
I gotta be honest with you, I feel like the fiber love.
Yeah, absolutely.
A seed that got planted.
She gave away all her pieces.
So I feel like it's just, you were constantly taught that they're related. Loving fiber and giving spirit are connected somehow.
And you know what? And let me tell you something. One of the things that I've learned throughout this whole experience is that the fiber community in itself, I had no idea how loving and how supportive they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I've met so many. I met you, Felicia. I'm talking about Lion Brand, Josh Bennett.
Josh is probably one of the nicest people on the planet.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome. And, just so loving and so supportive. And I love that.
Yeah.
And that to me is, I had no idea it even existed. I guess I was in my own bubble up until this point, and it's a shame that I went 10 years without realizing that.
I was going to say, it's kind of funny that you took the most insane route to find your people, but you did find your people.
I did, and
you had to go find all of the people to find your people, but you found the people.
Michelle, it's been amazing.
I'm so excited for you.
I love it. I love what's happening. I love the community. I love what we're doing for the kids, and the support of volunteers. Like, I'm so grateful to my volunteers.
You're not looking at this as an income revenue. You're looking at this as a break even so that you can feed back, and that makes sense. And that's completely. And that's and what I love is that that's part of your business model.
Yeah. I want to give back. I want them to give back.
But it seems like it's constant. So whatever happens with Brooklyn Boy Knits, as you're growing, you're constantly growing in teaching and educating and giving back. That's part of the business model of Brooklyn Boy Knits. So it's not just knitting. It's always going to be community driven and classes.
Absolutely.
And I know this is an opportunity for me to say that, and as you're doing all of that, you're also kind of doing something special that's not just knitting. I might be hinting to that lovely.
Yeah, so
you're gonna see something really special right now.
So, about 2 years ago, I was watching a television program. I can't remember where I saw this, but they were interviewing Johnny Depp, and now Johnny Depp had on this stringy necklace on, and the commentator was like, hey, what's that around your neck? He's like, oh, my nephew made this, whatever. And it was like a couple strings, and it was a t-shirt. And I was like, and I'm looking at this piece, and I'm saying to myself, my mind just starts going. And when my mind starts going, that's it. It's like it doesn't stop. That's the design.
That's the creativity.
So all of a sudden, I'm seeing leather and suede and beading and string and chain. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to make a scarf out of this. So I started playing around with it. It took me about a good year to develop it, but this is in Plexa. So Implexa is Latin for entwined. So I wanted to create a scarf, but at the same time, I wanted to create a jewelry piece, right? So what's really cool
It's
about
a statement.
it is.
It's a jewelry.
So I wanted to make it an infinity scarf. So it's.
Oh, I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not realize because it was set up on the mannequin. So I thought that was the. Oh, hello.
Yeah. So it's made from recycled T-shirt. So what I do is I take a T-shirt and then I just strip it. And I strip it into strings, and then I add all different kinds of cording, rope. I add leather. I add suede. I add chain.
Yes.
So I give it a flashy look.
Michele, it's not heavy
It's
either,
not.
you guys.
And
It's not heavy.
what's really cool about
It's
it,
really light.
it's light enough that you can wear in the summer. Okay.
Yes.
Even as an accessory piece.
I would totally rock this with a tank top to like Coachella.
Yes.
I would totally rock this.
And then if you turn to the side, I have all these little beads and like jewels that I add to it to give it the jewelry effect.
Oh
right?
my gosh.
It can be worn in two different ways. So here we have the handle. The handle always goes in the back. And what I like to tell people is like, when you put the Implexa on, you want to swing this back, leave that hanging, right? Because now you want to turn it into the infinity scarf.
Yes.
Right? So you twist it.
See, because that's how it was when I came in. So I thought it was just like a choker scarf. Oh,
then you bring the jewels right in front.
It's gorgeous, you guys, and it's so lightweight.
Yes.
Like that's the part. Like I'm gonna take this off.
Yeah, sure.
Can I play with her?
Yeah,
Can I
absolutely.
play with the So you guys, this is super, super, super lightweight, and like I can one hand, like look, thumb. It's super lightweight.
It's my prized possession. I love it so much. I've gotten so much great feedback.
So it's not for me?
Actually, this is for a customer. I brought it in today to showcase for a little bit.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. This is kind of awesome. Does this work for me?
It looks good on you. It looks really great. And so the cool thing about it is that I customize it. So you'll see I have some little charms on there.
I did see it. So in the jewels part,
so let's just say that I have someone who's a musician. I will adorn it with music notes or guitar if they play the guitar, different whatever it is.
Yes.
So like I do that. I customize it to the point where I'm adding different elements based on who the person is. So I have a
That's so brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
Because that's truly a one-of-a-kind piece.
It is. And so one of the questions I like to ask is, what's your profession?
Who's it for?
So they're like, well, why are you asking me what my profession is when you're asking about design of a scarf?
Yes.
Add that element to it. So if you're a nurse so I have a friend, really famous, his name is Jonathan Fernandez. He's on Love and Hip Hop on VH1.
Okay.
I made him one, and he's a makeup artist. So I tried to add those jewels.
Those jewels and special things with makeup, and then for him, like little pops of makeup artist inspired.
Yes, so like I do that. So
look at the key.
Yeah, so I do a lot of that in the.
So as I mentioned, you guys, the end kind of cut out. I don't know what happened with my media card. It kind of took a dump. But I want to thank Louis from Brooklyn Boy Knits for sitting down with me and chatting and talking about all these amazing projects he's got going on, and I hope that you found it as inspiring as I did. I really have so much admiration for what he's doing with all of this attention that he's getting and really bringing it forward in the knitting community. I also want to thank Felicia at String Things Studio for letting us camp out and film for the day. We had an awesome time hanging out in our shop. There's lots of great links below, so check everything out. The links to the needles that Louis talked about, the link to Felicia's shop, all kinds of good stuff. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Stitch and Hustle so you never miss a stitch, and I'll see you next time.